Yo, yo, yo. What's going on?
Hannon.
Welcome back to another episode of the Chucano Podcast. This is episode number 2, ladies and gentlemen. And today we got a full house here. We got Lex Morales from the Talking Wild with Jake and Lex podcast.
I'm here to get nasty, so that's pretty much what we're gonna do.
We want you guys to check that out. Also here on our Chucano YouTube page, under the playlist Talking Wild with Jake and Lex. That's another podcast that we got going on here, and he's an old friend of ours, and he's going to be telling some stories of our origin from back in the day, and they're going to be pretty interesting. So hope you guys like that. Of course, we got back our bass player guy,
¿Qué te pasa?
Chris Herrera,
Yeah.
and then as promised, we got Jordan Quintana, our trombone player on
What
here.
up?
There he is. And right here we got my buddy JJ, drummer for the Chucanos.
He's not the king of beepers,
Get
but
in there.
whatever.
Get in there so we can hear you better.
A little bit.
Alrighty, guys. So, like we did in the first podcast, we went ahead and we talked about how we got into music, how we all started and everything. And you guys have a unique perspective because you guys used to play in another reggae band that we used to play along with at shows. And now you guys are in Chucano, so we're going to go ahead and talk about all that stuff. So let's get started with Jordan first. Jordan, how did you get into playing the trombone? What influenced you to get started?
Well, I've been playing the trombone since I was in the 5th grade, man.
Dope.
And how old are you in the 5th grade?
Like about 9, 10?
Like
I don't know
9,
what
10
the
years
fuck
old.
made you pick a trombone though.
That's an interesting
Well, let
story,
him get there.
brother.
Let him get
You know
there.
what I mean? So, when I was a little boy, man, 5, 6 years old, man, my uncle, Ricky Ortega, love him to death,
Shout out.
all-state trombone player, bro. And Texas, dude. First chair out of everybody in Texas. You know what I mean? That's 300, 400 people right there. And he played in a band called Liquid Cheese.
Hell yeah. Shout out to Liquid Cheese.
Yeah, dude.
Sully's.
Yeah, man. So they would practice in my grandma's living room when I was like 5 or 6 years old, bro. And then everybody, you know, as a little kid, you see the drums and you're like, or you see the guitar. Dude, I had my eye on that trombone, bro. So he influenced me to pick it up 5th grade. I carried it, man, all the way to, I did about 3 semesters of college.
So when you started out, your uncle was playing in Liquid Cheese, which is an incredible band from El Paso with the Sullivan Brothers.
Really good.
Band for El Paso.
And they would do a lot of ska influence, a lot of reggae
Ska,
influence
reggae,
too.
the cumbia, man, all
Yeah.
that stuff, man. It's amazing. It was beautiful. That's what I like to listen to. You know what I mean? Reggae has always been a part of my life. Ska.
How did that get started?
Reggae? Well, Liquid Cheese, and then I used to play in a band called Fixed Idea as well. And so they do cumbia, reggae, ska, all that stuff. And, you know.
How did you get introduced to Fixed Idea? What was the story behind that?
That, Chris Alfaro, the bass player.
He's a fucking awesome bass player.
Hell yeah.
You know,
Shout out to Chris Alfaro. He's playing right now with Frontera Boogaloo.
Hell yeah.
When I came back from NMSU, I put down my horn for about a year. And then he called me up. He said, hey, do you want to play in a reggae band, a ska band? I was like, yeah. Who? Fixed Idea. I was like, oh, man, I'm down to play for Fixed Idea. Because my uncle as well used to play for Fixed Idea.
Hell yeah. Fixed Idea is a great band here from El Paso, Texas. They've been around since about 1992. They're one of the most well-established bands here in El Paso, and they're good friends of ours that we jam out with all the time, that we're fortunate enough to jam out with all the time here in El Paso, and hopefully a couple episodes down the road, we'll go ahead and get some of those members. But so you have a unique story. You started getting into reggae, and then I think this was right after high school. You got into Fixed Idea, right?
About a year and a half. I joined Fixed Idea when I was probably 19, 20, going on there. I remember because I couldn't drink for a year. That's what I remember. And yeah, Chris called me up and he's like, you want to play? And I was like, hell yeah. So I jumped on that. And, you know, I played for about 5 years. A bunch of musicians going through there, but, you know, everybody that I met.
As it is in all bands, yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody that I met became really good friends with, man.
Now, JJ has his own story about about playing with
Himself?
Fixed
with
idea.
other groups and stuff like that too.
Prove it.
Okay.
And many others.
He's very good at it, though. I've seen him.
You know,
You're a champion, buddy.
Hey.
Keep it going.
Prove
you don't
it.
get good by not doing anything.
Good for you. Good for you.
It's a cactus piece. All right, so Jordan, you got into playing the trombone at 5th grade, but you went through a punk phase, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
So you were an asshole, huh?
We all do, bro. We all do. You know what I mean? We all can't be nice. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
it's
Sometimes we all need to let that hate out.
Sometimes you just got
Your friend's a real asshole.
the real.
Yeah, man.
No, but yeah, talk about that little phase. Not a little phase, but talk about that phase in your timeline. You know.
Well, that man, I was in Fixed Idea. That's the first band I ever played for. So about 2 to 3 years into it, man, my buddy Will, rest in peace.
R.I.P.
You know what I mean?
Good buddy Will.
My friend Chris, me, my friend Jim, my friend Manny Vasquez. You know, we decided to do some punk, man, and they wanted me to lead sing, bro.
Dope.
I ain't no lead singer, bro. I'm gonna just tell you right now.
You're getting there, man. You're doing some vocals for Chucanos now, man. You're
I
getting
know,
there.
but I'm not. I'm all right. I'm okay. But I went through that, man. We had some amazing times. It was fun. It was just fun. That's when music isn't just about trying to be bigger than that. It's about just having fun, and
Yeah.
that was fun for me. That
Hell yeah.
time was fun. You know what I mean? So I enjoyed playing that. You know, then I jumped onto the classic reggae, bro. When we started Vibes Arise, me and Randy Vega.
Hell yeah. We're gonna pause you on that part of your story right there because we're gonna let JJ catch up to you on that side.
Right.
Do you guys have any other questions for Jordan up until that point? We're all the way up until Vibes Arise in his story.
Yeah. No, I just.
We're good?
What was it like your first time playing on stage?
Oh, there you go. Fuck yeah, that's a great one.
Well, I've already been playing. I played in high school in front of crowds, jazz band, all that stuff, man. I was used to it. But
On stage?
But
in front
on
of-
stage,
in
on a
front of
It's
live
stage,
a little
performers?
different.
Was it
it's,
that
it's
different?
different.
Like, because I
It's
mean,
different because
I know the crowds aren't as big.
You're not-
crowds are not getting down as much.
And you're in an elevated, level.
I'd enjoy it better than playing in a jazz studio or whatever.
Jazz flute.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Did you march at any point?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
For 4 years in high school and about 2 years in college.
Which high school did you go to?
I went to Bel Air.
Fucking loser. And then keep going.
Dude, I went to Bel Air for like
2
2-3
weeks.
months.
Like
It was something like that.
yeah. It was like 3 weeks. I think.
Got kicked out, bro. But yeah, man. So I enjoy playing local, free. That's me music, man.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I think like the best English sounding music for a trombone is reggae and ska.
It is good,
To be
man.
honest.
They got it in.
And I'm not being
clarinet.
biased, but
I'm just saying.
hey, man, we still could have used you for cumbia with a clarinet. Now, JJ Hernandez here, ladies and gentlemen. He is our drummer. He started with us just a few months ago. How did you get started into music, JJ?
Into music?
Yeah.
Well, I've been introduced to it since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Nice.
And just kept, dabbling around the drums. This one time in elementary, I saw my cousin play, and so that kind of inspired me to continue playing that, the drums and studying even more, researching more into that.
So your cousin was the one that got you into drumming. Like you
Right.
saw your cousin drum, and you're like, I can do that.
As far as being in a band.
So kind of similar to
Mm-hmm.
Jordan,
Family.
where it was his uncle that got him into
Right.
it.
Right.
I also have a similar story. I did want to watch it because of the Beatles, but I had an older cousin named David, and he had a badass band, and he played like cumbias and like he covered like rock and stuff too.
Right on.
And my dad would take me over there to go check him out, and I just remember getting behind the drums trying to fuck around. So that's pretty cool, man. What drummer is like, oh, you know what, man? For sure, I want to be a drummer, and I want to kind of sound like this. Where did you get your sound at?
Ooh. It had to have started with Led Zeppelin, John Bonham,
Bonham.
Of course. And actually before that, it was a bit of Ringo Starr.
Really?
Yeah.
What like around like later Ringo, or like more like the oldie sounding like in the 60s
Oh,
kind of
from the
Ringo?
beginning all the way through.
He just had that steady 4/4 beat that
Yeah.
kind of drove kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's the. I mean, just hearing a lot of the, the material, the Beatles or Led Zeppelin, and listening more and more to those, drum parts, just
I'm not sure
give
if
me
you
that feeling.
badass. I'm not sure if you went through a punk phase yourself, but I know you went through a metal phase.
Yeah, more so.
Can you talk about
heavy
that?
metal, absolutely. I guess, a year after getting into high school, so sophomore year, I met this cat through a good friend of mine, JL, Joseph James, and he's in an ElPaso band too right
Dope.
now. That's just listening a lot, to heavy metal.
What were you guys into back in those days?
I was already onto
Was this-
Metallica.
Okay,
That was
so
my
it's
introduction.
more like power metal, like kind of like early metal, like 80s metal.
Me more so. He
Oh,
was
okay.
more into the
The
new
newer-
metal,
The harder
right?
shit.
Like
Like-
new metal.
Like what was going on back then, like
what-
Meshuggah and like
Corn and
no,
You know what?
Limp Bizkit.
No.
No?
No, like metal,
Metallica,
like
Metallica.
Megadeth, Slayer, Pantera.
No, but you said new metal, so I
like
figured-
new
Right,
metal's
he
kind of like
was-
Meshuggah
Yeah,
or
my homie. No, you know what?
Opeth.
I guess more grindcore,
Okay,
savvy stuff.
so like
No idea what that is.
kind of like
As I lay
There's
down.
a, there's
go,
a
as I lay
ridiculous
down.
amount of
Okay,
fucking
yeah.
categories when it comes to metal.
There's a
dude.
lot
It's
of that shit,
stupid.
yeah, and I mean that
Yeah.
was huge back then
In
too.
Flames.
As I Lay Dying was like freaking monsters.
Job for a Cowboy.
Yeah,
Who else?
Dude, those
There's a
motherfuckers,
lot
saw
of
them
them.
live. In
You saw 'em live?
Albuquerque? Fuck yeah, dude. Those motherfuckers hit hard.
what were you doing in Kirky?
In Captain Kirk?
You were over there in Captain?
Yeah.
Captain Kirk?
Who the fuck calls it Captain Kirk?
Shit, I don't know.
Yeah, no, man, we were over there for a metal festival, and Job for a Cowboy. Fuck, we saw this other fucking band.
Dillinger Escape Plan.
Some
Fuck
shit
yeah.
like that. There was a bunch of motherfuckers,
Yeah.
like big old.
Was it like a
Chimera.
Warped Tour?
Yeah, what was
Oh, yeah,
it called?
Chimera.
It was the Monster Energy drink. Fucking, I don't remember what it was called. But there was this big ass Viking fucking band, big mother, Amon Amarth.
Amon Amarth.
God damn, dude, those
They
motherfuckers.
get down.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. Had a ship on stage. Anyways,
Sorry
continue.
about
Sorry about
You
that.
That's a
just
dope-
wanna
that's a
go
dope
on
ass
with
story.
that. That's a
So-
great story.
So your buddy was listening to a little bit like newer metal, and you were still like jamming out with the classic stuff.
Yes.
You guys decided to jam together and do a metal
A
project.
few times.
What was it called? And what were you guys trying to do?
Well, actually, we just jammed together. Put our drum sets together and just jam out. We really didn't have anything specific that we were going for
Dope.
because we each had our own sides of, I guess, metal that you could say that we liked. So it was only a few times, and after that, we just spread out.
There you
Into different areas of music, and my part was usually the heavier, the faster, hard-hitting type of music. His
Mhm.
was hard-hitting too, but it was a little bit, slower, a bit broken down.
Yeah, they would
which
do the
is-
big breaks.
yeah,
the big
it's
breaks
really
in
cool,
that.
though.
And then, so after that, what happened? Did you guys start a band and do a metal project for a while, or
He
did you go
was-
with someone else and start a different project?
He actually was approached by a guy, guitar player, Ryan Reyes. He played in a local band, Blank
Yeah.
Expression.
Yeah, I believe Danny knew.
Right. And asked him to drum for him. He was already with this other cat jamming around, and so he passed my number on to him.
Dope.
So he just hit me up, and we just started jamming.
So then, talk to us about how you got into playing reggae and cumbia. Coming from metal.
Yeah, so that was
that's a hell
kind
of a jump.
That's a hell of a jump.
happened over time.
That's a 360 turn, bro.
In a
Well, then
bit.
that'd be right in the
That'd
same
be
spot.
right back where you
Yeah,
started.
right
fucker.
back.
Maybe a 180 or a 240.
Yeah.
Or 420.
420.
Okay.
I don't smoke, fucker. Mind your business. No, I'm just kidding. Here we go.
Yeah, so that kind of
Gotta work them buttons.
after
First drop.
2007, I stopped playing metal.
Okay.
I got out of that band and went on to play more alternative rock,
There you go.
right?
Okay.
So, slowly making my way across the spectrum, as it is what it was. You know.
That's what it is.
You know, that's what happens. I think sometimes.
Yeah.
Most commonly, maybe around here in El Paso, I guess.
What year is this right now? By the way, now that you guys are playing a little bit more alternative, a little bit more.
2008, 9, and 10.
Shit. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Right. And so, right after after these 2 years, I met up with these two other cats, and we started playing more reggae, more Latin styled music.
Yeah.
And then introduced into Radio La Chusma,
Yeah.
which is another good El Paso band.
Yeah.
Just
I talked
Fucking
about them
El Paso
briefly.
legends, dude. Right
yeah,
there.
for sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
We talked about them a little bit briefly. So you actually played in Radio La Chusma.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe like a year or two before I played with them for a little while.
3 years.
Probably like 3 years
3
before
years,
me.
from 2010 to 2013.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I came in like right after that. And then of course we know how it goes with playing their music. You gotta learn a
absolutely.
lot of the rules and everything to playing that music.
Like a sex cult, or what are you talking about?
I don't know about rules.
No, there's rules to the genres, like what a one drop is.
Yeah.
What
It's like,
constitutes a cumbia.
like music rules.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So then you get into vibes.
No.
How do you go from
so
Chusma
from
to Vibes?
Chusma, was then created a Chuco Soul project.
There you go.
So that was going around for what, 4 or 5 years?
Yeah.
After that, then during, I also joined Vibes Arise.
With Randy Vega.
Yeah,
and,
my good friend Jordan here.
Jordan.
Invited me over, and I was more than happy to come to go and join them.
So you're playing with Chuco Soul Project
Yeah.
at the same time. And Chuco Soul Project, you guys were into the reggae, and
Yeah.
you guys didn't really pigeonhole yourselves in what
No.
type of sound that you guys were going to play. A lot of times you would make specific songs that sounded in a different genre, and then sometimes you do like songs in Spanish.
Right.
Sometimes you do like a little bit of neo soul and stuff.
Yeah,
sometimes.
they go around, around the spectrum, and a lot of them were just based off of a feel or off of a jam
Yeah.
that would come out of nothing.
So at that time, you started playing with Vibes Arise,
Mhm.
and
And actually, at the same time, or a little bit before, I was also jamming. I started to jam metal again with these
nice.
other cats. So we're doing. They wanted to do like a Misfits cover, tribute, but also play a lot of their favorite tunes too, which happened to be the same.
Weren't
ones
you
as
in
mine.
a Deftones cover as well?
Yeah,
Nice.
and actually before Radio La
so was I.
Chusma,
So was I.
Radio La Chusma was in a Deftones tribute band. That's right, the Black Hour.
Dope.
Oh, nice. I was in Adrenaline.
Yeah, me too.
Nice.
Okay, yeah, that's right. You guys are talking about that.
So now we're back up to speed, and you guys are in Vibes Arise right now. We actually got our second show. No, one of our first shows was with you guys.
The first show was with Vibes, wasn't it?
No, the first show we played.
I think
at,
the first show that we played was
St.
our
Patty's Day.
Mulligan.
No, our city release party, bro.
Together?
Our
No, Chucanos and
I was there.
No, we played the first time. You reached out to me, and we actually did St. Patrick's Day at Mulligan's.
That was the first time. Okay.
Yeah, but before that, we started in November around my birthday, and we played at 5 Points Bistro. But I don't think you guys played with us.
Yeah,
then.
that was our CD release.
It was your CD release,
It
dude.
was.
It was.
Yeah, the 5 Points outside.
And Seek
yeah.
the Fire play too,
I think it was them. Yeah,
right?
because my buddy Shahi, he was DJing on the side.
wasn't your CD release at Badlands?
That was the second.
That was the second one?
Yeah.
Yeah. We did play their CD release.
That's when I saw you guys, man. When I heard you dudes, bro, I was like, oh, these guys are good, man. Like, I never heard them before.
I was so
And I
fucking
watched
nervous
their
that
show,
day.
Yeah,
man.
I
It
was so nervous,
crazy
man.
nervous.
Instead of walking around
Dude,
trying to make sure everything
that
needs to
day,
get done.
dude, I got rear-ended. We're fucking going
yeah,
to the
thank
show.
you.
Fuck.
I'm in my car, dude. I'm listening to fucking Kendrick Lamar, dude. I'm just bumping. I'm feeling good and shit, dude. I have a beer in my fucking thing. I get hit, dude, and the fucking beer spills all over the
Oh
fucking.
no.
I'm like, what the fuck? My glasses are off. I'm like, what the hell's going on? I get out, dude. It's this sweet little old lady, dude. I was just like, fuck, man. She was nice, man. So like, I just
Should've
asked
hit
her. I just, nah. But
I was in the car with him.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Grandma should have hit her.
And
Behind her.
he didn't take it that well. He wanted to fuck her up, and then he found out it was a little sweet old lady in a
Oh,
motorized
man.
car.
No.
but after that we head to the show and we had a fucking awesome show.
We had a
That's
fucking
cool.
awesome
Yeah, you guys
show.
were good, man.
We got people dancing for the
Yep.
first time, and that's the first time since we've always played in rock bands. We never really had a crowd react like that and actually dance.
And
So
move
when we
around.
started jamming, when we told everybody, "Hey man, we want to see you guys dance," and we started up, and we just got like everybody dancing and doing like a little skank and stuff. And
What'd you call me?
I remember you guys thinking
You
like,
heard him.
"Oh shit, this is crazy,"
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's good, man. Yeah, that's good. That's where I first heard you guys, bro. And that's when I called you guys to do the St. Patrick's Day show.
Yeah.
To open up for us for that show.
That
And that
was
show
another great
was
show.
bumping.
That
bro.
show was fucking awesome.
This is before JJ
This JJ
joined you.
JJ hasn't
Yeah.
joined the band yet.
Nah,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is
Into the picture.
this is one drummer in.
Yeah.
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 We had
This
our
is what
drummer Manny. Yeah.
Manny.
Manny.
Shout out to Manny.
Yep.
Awesome dude.
You guys
So-
ever started a fight
No.
while playing or mosh pit?
What the fuck? No, I'm just
Back in Angel Syndrome Day, we had a couple
Yeah,
of mosh pits, you know.
yeah,
but-
back in
reggae?
Angel Syndrome.
Nah, man, just at all.
Yeah, back in
Back- yeah,
Angel
back
Syndrome
in-
days.
in the
Fixed
adrenaline
idea.
days.
Well, I'm just saying because when I played metal, it was more
more
than
more
one.
pushing people around.
Yeah, I mean, but that's a bunch of dudes. Like getting girls
No,
to
there were
dance.
some girls
that's-
there. There were some girls there.
Getting
Yeah.
girls to dance and move like they do to reggae.
Those
I
were
mean,
the
it's-
surprising ones.
Those are the ones you don't want to take home, bro.
And then
I
that's
mean, you
that's,
do, but
Or
guess
do
what?
you?
You're gonna get punched and choked, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Dude, the first time I skanked, dude, was at the Toasters.
Oh, I saw that video.
Fucking
I wasn't
fun.
Yeah,
there.
it
I
was.
saw it, bro.
We played that show. You just left, huh?
Yeah.
Wait, what the
yeah,
fuck
well,
is skank?
He's already seen the toast.
Skanking is a little
It's a form of
erotic.
dancing that they do to
Anytime I hear
ska
skanking,
music.
it's my Thursday and it's go time.
Hey,
Well, I don't
Yeah.
know about all that.
Look it
you'll
up.
find out.
Who made you like that?
The Lord.
Sure.
A she devil.
Sure.
But no, that show, man, that you guys opened up great, dude. I think you guys started with Funky Reggae Party.
Yeah,
right?
punky reggae
Punky,
party
yeah.
at the Mulligans, and I remember that my cousin was calling me because she was standing outside and they weren't letting anybody else in, man. And
Wow,
when we
really?
started playing punky reggae, I just remember like as soon as the beat came in, I just saw everybody jumping.
Nice.
It was a good show, man.
Man, that shit was dope. And then you guys go on, and then you guys start fucking murdering, dude. And at the end, you guys played "Don't Let Me Down" in the Beatles,
All
but in
reggae
the version
style.
of the Agrolites.
Yeah.
And you guys just fucking tore that house up too, man. I remember that shit.
I remember that you came up to me, you're like, "Hey, bro, I'm sorry that I had to start with Punky Reggae Party." I was like, "Nah, dude, it's good, bro. It's cool.
Yeah, it's because you know how it is.
you
dude. Like,
get your crowd, bro. That's everybody. You know, I'm glad to help anybody, but you know, once you're on stage, that's you, man. That's your product. right
yeah,
there.
sometimes it's a cliche, and sometimes you can run into a band that's in the reggae scene, and if you start out like that, sometimes they might think less of you or something like, eh. But you know, it wasn't the
was me,
case,
bro.
and it turns out that we were both East Side reggae bands,
Mm-hmm.
which is very rare for El Paso because most of the reggae has been out there in your side of town, like in West Side and downtown and Central. Now you're East Side again, but you've been going back and forth.
It's been everywhere.
Yeah,
I mean, as far
but you
as
knew all those
the scene
musicians.
goes.
We didn't know those musicians.
Oh,
We didn't know like Ernie and all them. Like we didn't know
right,
Joel
right.
Yeah.
and Charlie and all that. We didn't know anybody.
Yeah, back
Like,
in
we
the
didn't
day,
know
that
Marco.
was the other side of the world for us.
Yeah.
over there.
Huh.
We never played a show with Liquid Cheese with the Sullivan Brothers and them. Like we never played with them. But you guys were doing your own thing down there, and we were always doing our rock and stuff down here. So we were like, when we decided to become reggae, we didn't know there was like other reggae bands in the East Side, because the only ones we ever knew of was Sabrosa. Shout out to Sabrosa Union.
Yeah.
You,
That we used to open up for them when we were Angel Syndrome back in the day. So there was Vibes, Steady Shakedown turned into Vibes, or Randy left Steady Shakedown and created Vibes with you.
Yeah. See, he had left. I was in Steady Shakedown for about a year, I think.
Dope. That's
and
right.
then, you know, stuff happens, bro. You know
Yeah.
how it goes.
yeah, that's a crazy situation that happened. You know, that's surprising.
Yeah, things happen, man. You know, you all know. So,
Do you want to talk about that?
Can we talk a little bit
you
about
want
it?
to talk about it?
I'm in the dark on this one.
Can we talk a little bit?
No,
Check
No, it's
this
because
out.
they had some
Doesn't
crazy
matter.
shit going, you know.
Yeah.
Well,
Check this out, dude.
no, I'm not gonna throw anybody under the bus.
No names,
but
no
I'm
names or
just
anything.
saying
No
that,
names.
you know,
Some people.
there's people out there, bro.
It's
You know,
people's kids, man.
you gotta
People's
watch
kids.
out.
So
dog.
2 members were they basically like went behind your back and tried to do some legal stuff.
No,
with
that
the
was with
band's name.
Vibes. That was not with
Oh, that was
Shakedown.
Vibes.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about Shakedown. I
But
mean, I'm talking about
yeah,
Vibes
oh,
Arise.
that's-
Sorry.
that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking
So-
about Vibes Arise.
Okay.
Yeah, what's that about?
You had a bunch of shady shit in other bands too.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
just
I
a
mean,
lot of
yeah,
politics.
keep that.
It's just one of those.
There's a
Dirty
long
enough to
list,
happen.
man. I'll
Right.
tell you about it later.
It's a lot of politics. But what I specifically want to talk about with you
Well-
guys here,
Okay, so basically, the people were wanting to have rights of the group. So
like they wanted the rights to the name of the band.
yes, I guess thinking in some way, shape, or form they were gonna become rich,
Did
famous,
they
or
come up with that
known.
name? Did they?
No.
It wasn't their name. It wasn't their sound, right? So, what good is it gonna do them? You know?
So then, go ahead and what happened?
So the thing is, man, you know, it's just that when you can't confront a band member and everybody doesn't say anything, and you let that performance happen over and over and over, and you
Yeah.
can hear it, but nobody's saying anything about it, can tear a band apart. Especially if she's dating my sax player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So these 2 band members, they go behind your back, and they go down to City Hall or whatever, and they go ahead and they
try to
make a
copyright.
business. They make a business, and their business name is Vibes Arise.
Yeah.
Then they come back to you guys and say, hey, you know, all those shows we played and all the money we made and all, because all the gear you guys bought together, you guys bought recording equipment, you guys bought merch, you guys bought live sound equipment. They wanted to take that from you because
wanted
they
to-
said that they had the
they
business
wanted the
name.
credit.
It was
yeah.
the name. They had the name. And I was like, dude, like,
So
you don't have the sound.
So it technically broke you guys apart.
It broke us out, yeah. We still played for a little bit
Yeah,
after
yeah.
that, and then we, you know,
But
it was nothing, bro.
I remember it being such a big scandal here in El Paso when we
Yeah,
found
it was
out
funny.
that
That was funny.
these 2 members, which will remain nameless, of course,
Right.
were doing this to you guys. And then I remember getting closer to you then, Jordan, because we had always been cool because of the shows that we would get together. But then I remember reaching out to you, and I went online and I looked for it,
Yeah.
and I found their information, and I found that they had only made a business, but they never went through with what the process is to make a business. You guys
Right.
never signed any W-2s or anything. You guys weren't employees or work for hires. And as far as you're concerned, they didn't even have the trademark.
Nope.
They didn't even write the
For
It
music.
the
was just a
name.
waste of time.
And
man.
then that's when I would ask Jordan, I'm like, well, what did they write, or what's all their songs?
Yeah.
And you would tell me I write all their parts.
Yeah. Randy would write the vocals, the lyrics, man, and I would write the horns. And
I mean, it always weirded me out that you guys had a girl singer and she would always do like unison.
Backups.
Like she would never do like a high harmony or something. She would just kind of
Well,
do
there was
like
one song, no? One song that she did sing.
irrelevant.
I don't
It
know.
doesn't matter. You're absolutely
It
right.
doesn't matter.
But-
it doesn't matter.
But I remember you telling me that you would even write his sax parts or the key parts.
So how could they even produce a sound like that with
The sax parts were the horn parts, so he would follow what I wrote.
Yeah.
And then he would harmonize on it, but it's still a lick that I wrote.
Yeah.
And I'll take one, bro. And
So I remember reaching out to you, and I know that you were really upset because no band wants to go through that type of situation that you guys went through. All bands have their trials and everything, but you guys went through this where these 2 members who were dating each other at the time in your band decided to do all these things behind your backs.
yeah.
So then I told you, hey man, look, this is all they got. They don't got nothing.
No, yeah, I remember you calling me, bro. I think I was working like 12-hour shifts,
Yes, you were.
and so
You were just like burnt out, about everything at that time. And I remember telling you like, dude, it's so much, it's such a pity like to lose you guys as a group because the shows were great and like the future was pretty bright, you know?
yeah, dude. No, and then it was just whatever. It blew over, But I do want to talk about how JJ came into this picture.
There you go.
Before, I know he was there with me.
Yeah.
But we never talked about how he came to us. I remember I was trying to look for a drummer because my drummer Manny, he couldn't be in the band anymore. He got too busy. So, I was asking everybody, hey, do you guys know who a drummer that can likes reggae and all that stuff? So somebody pointed me to JJ, but again, I don't want to.
I want to
remember,
know,
bro. But someone pointed me to JJ, and I didn't want to. I knew he was playing with Chuco Soul, so I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I don't want to get involved. I don't want him to.
I don't want to
get involved with him coming to jam with me and leaving them. So I asked him, hey, do you know anybody that would jam? Do you have friends? He's a drummer. He might have some friends or something. And he's like, no, man, but can I come and jam with you guys?
Yeah. I mean,
I was like, he's not going to cause any problems with the other bands
teasing
because
me
you know
over
how
here.
bands get, man.
Oh, yeah.
You stole my drummer, man.
Yep.
that's only if they're like that.
And you know what? Like, when we came to a situation where Danny wanted to go back to guitar, because Danny's a songwriter, man, and I would always tell him, what's the matter, Danny? Like, how come you're not writing songs? And he's like, dude, I can't write when I'm on the drums.
Right.
Like, I can start writing again and I can get back up in there if I'm on guitar.
Mm-hmm.
So then we were like, me and Guy were thinking like, okay, well, how are we going to do this? We need a drummer. And Guy right away was like, ask JJ. And I was a little nervous to ask you. I was like really, really nervous. Because we didn't know each other super well.
Right.
We had only talked a handful of times. And when Jordan joined the band, he just helping us out for a couple months before he even made the decision. So
The reason why I recommended JJ was the hat work, dude. His fucking hat work is phenomenal, man.
Oh, thank you.
it is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's okay, dude. I'm just saying.
Hey.
Your fills are fucking.
Nah, he's good, bro.
I haven't
in
seen.
I
progress.
love JJ,
I haven't seen
man.
him wear a hat once, but that's neither here
Most
nor
of
there.
all, the hand jobs is
No.
the best.
Yeah.
That's how he got
He's got
that
soft
fast.
hands.
Handwork,
That's how he
handwork.
sealed
That's the
the
handwork, man.
deal.
Yeah.
That's the
That's how he sealed the deal, huh?
That's how he sealed the deal.
You got that handwork, huh?
Yeah, you
A
know.
little hand job.
I got soft hands though. They're kind of,
They're
you
cute.
know.
You moisturize a little too much
They
for
got
a man,
blisters.
but you know what?
They got
It is
blisters.
what it is.
No, not even.
So you guys have the actual, you have the perspective of being with Chucanos and also doing your own thing along our same universe.
Yeah.
So we all clicked really, really quick, and you guys were doing some big stuff. You guys were coming out with some really good albums. Talk about that time where your last album with Vibes Arise, when I did a little favor
Ooh, what kind of favor?
on that
Hey
album.
now.
It was.
yeah. This guy,
Is it one of those?
I wrote a song called "Believe," man,
Hell yeah!
and it's about believing, bro. Believing in yourself, believing you can do something, and not letting that.
Is it like
belief
R.
go.
Kelly? I
Wait, I'm
believe I
sorry.
can
Is that
fly.
the one
or-
Cher made?
Hold
Or
on.
what the fuck?
Probably because I probably never.
Would it be
Out
heard
of
too
my
much?
head.
Get out of my head.
Would it be too much if I put you on the spot for that?
What?
Oh,
I put you on the spot
good
What?
vibes only. Ready, go.
What to do it?
to do it. You down or what?
I might have it.
Do you like to do it
All right,
yourself?
Go ahead and talk about Believe.
Well, we recorded "Believe." We're recording our just all our songs so we can have it out there, and I had asked Jacob, "Hey man, I have a spot in this song that needs something there, and I think it could be like rap." And I don't like rap personally, but it felt like that could be there. And I asked him, "Hey man, do you know how to rap?" He's like, yeah, in the shower.
Chicken wrap.
You know what I mean? In the shower.
I remember you told me about that response too.
I was like, hey, that's good enough for
That's
me, man.
appropriate.
So he goes and records with Randy Vega because I think I was busy that day. I couldn't meet up with him to record that.
Yeah, yeah.
And I had sent it over. He recorded it, and I had sent it over. I listened to it. I was like, even told my girlfriend, man, I was like, that shit sounds good, dude.
Yeah.
Shit sounds good and clean. I was like, that's the song, man, right there. And I sent it over to my to the guy that
To your
was
engineer?
mixing, my
Yeah,
engineer.
yeah.
He put it in, mixed it. Yeah,
So
I
that was-
listen to that part every now and then.
So
man.
that was cool that I got to guest feature Vibes Arise.
Are we gonna hear
album.
that shit or what's going on?
I don't have it.
You
Do you know where it's at? Do you have it?
No, I'm saying spit the verse.
Huh?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying.
Man,
Spit the
Acapella.
verse.
it's been like 3 years.
You got
I
it.
want to believe.
I have it if you want to put
Yeah,
it.
yeah, jam it, dude.
So
I want to believe.
I don't want to hear it. No, I'm just kidding.
Now, just for time purposes, you guys just want to hear that little piece?
Yeah.
It's just
We'll throw on a quick little bar or two.
Okay.
So
See if I-
this
see
was
if I
3
can
years ago.
find
It
it.
was like
Yeah.
2 years ago, no?
It was about what was it?
You were a
Guys,
fucking rapper?
when you guys came out with that
For a
album.
brief period of
Where
time.
the fuck was I?
Dude, he fucking started wearing
That
baggy
was at
jeans. He
least-
sagged his pants, dude. You fucking wear hats.
So he was sagging?
3 years ago.
Sagging Barry, dude.
it's not fit. Oh, it's because
All
my
day.
thing's messed up, man. But I can put it right here if you want.
All right.
Go ahead.
Just real
Make
quick.
it
I'll
work.
find that spot.
Make it work.
Yeah, I heard it.
This is Vibes Arise, ladies and gentlemen.
This is Jacob over here, man. This is Jacob's rap
It's okay.
Hey, that's perfect. That's just perfect
That was
timing.
good, though.
for
That
this
was good. I'm
podcast.
proud of you.
You know, that's the first time I've
Take
heard
two.
that. I've never heard that before. Never heard it. Who's on the drums? Oh, shit.
Believe in yourself, you got the birth of vision of the virgin of yourself. You wanna be, so let them serve this. I'm not gonna lie, it's running easy to get it right. Sometimes you won't, and then some other times you might. But just remember, tomorrow's a gift and another chance to get it right. So don't worry about what anyone thinks or all your doubts. You're in control.
Man, I swear I'm listening to
Yo,
fucking Informer.
Honestly,
bad.
dude, what do you guys think? Do you think they should incorporate that to Los Chucanos or?
I don't know about
I
that.
think
That
we
would have been. I could have
should.
sworn I was listening to
So
Informer right there.
that's
For
cool,
real.
man. So Jordan wrote that song for a good buddy of his who was going through some hard times like we all do. And when he explained that to me, I was like, yeah, dude, you know what, dude? Fuck, I've been there. Like, I know what that's like. So that's what I wrote that verse, and I went over to Randy's house, and we just knocked it out really quick. And so that was fun, man. I've never
That was
gotten
really
to do
good,
that.
man.
I've never gotten to feature like on a
somebody's
homie's
album.
album and shit, and that was
Yeah.
really cool, man.
That's
Thank you.
dope.
So we've always been close, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
From
is
far
what-
away.
what the conclusion that we're getting to. So it was just kind of natural that when everything went down with Vibes,
And we came into the same.
then we went through our growing pains
Oh,
too,
phew.
and it was just natural for us to like think of you guys.
Right on.
Like anyone will tell you guys like, oh
Yeah.
man.
On the real, like both of you guys were the first to come in mind. Both of you guys.
Hell yeah.
Thanks, brother.
Sometimes it might have taken us a while to get there.
Right.
What everybody had going on and stuff like that, and but it was fucking cool, man.
Eventually, everything lines up.
It was really fucking cool.
Some good times, man. Really good times.
So now you guys are in a band that has their own podcast. How do you feel about that?
That's,
Great.
Feels different.
Side note.
I don't know what it is, but it
Sounds
feels
different.
It's gonna take some getting used to, but we'll get
That's-
there.
I'll
that's
tell
We'll
you.
get it, we'll get
Side
it.
note, Chris, this beer, fantastic.
It's
brother.
fucking awesome.
I know it's tickling my
Hey,
dick.
if you recognize your can, you better reach out to us. You know.
What do you guys would say when you guys came in? What was like the song? Were any of the songs like? Did any of the songs stick to you guys when you guys came in and started learning our repertoire?
The first song it was Fire Gazing, man.
Shoot, that the hardest one.
That's the hardest song. Like if I had to play, because I remember I would sit there in my room and I have these speakers, those speakers that I'm lending you, and I blast them to learn your songs, and that one is the hardest song for
Well,
me.
originally Fire Gazing, which you guys will be able to hear pretty soon. We're gonna go into the studio and record that with the new lineup. Fire Gazing was a song that we originally had in flute with Veronica Bueno
Oh, yeah.
on the flute.
Shout out to Vero.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Bueno sisters. And so that was a flute part that you have to play. So the flute is a very high soprano instrument, and the trombone is more like a baritone, kind of like lower register instruments.
Hey, but you kick ass on that fucking trombone though, brother.
Yeah,
like
dude.
I'm
you, man.
fucking
Thank you.
impressed on that shit.
Go
Like,
ahead,
Thank you,
man.
bro.
like you do actually pretty good, man.
I love it.
What do you
impressed.
What do you think, JJ?
Oh, I love it.
Which song was like the one like? Did anything stick out at all or anything? I mean, feel free to hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
Feel free to hurt my feelings.
Well, no, not really. I mean, that one time I went to your guys' rehearsal, listening to what you guys were jamming, it kind of just always stuck in my mind. Or so I could say it was familiar
Yeah,
already,
yeah.
without having listened to any of you guys' material.
Yeah.
But, no.
So
I mean,
then-
honestly, not
then
really.
when you joined and we showed you a bunch of songs, which one did you like stick to? Like, okay, I like that one.
All of them. I mean, I like all of them.
Kick this man out, please. Thank you.
'Cause
I can't.
I don't know if you guys know this, but JJ reached out to me. He's like, dude, send me all the lyrics.
Yeah.
I want all the lyrics.
Yeah.
Look at you.
No, it
taking
was a
up
practice.
notch, huh?
He had said it. He had said it out loud.
And he messaged me, and I sent him all the lyrics, and I think
Well,
for me,
honestly, like that.
How does that make you feel?
That type
How does
of
that make you
reach out was like it meant a lot to him.
yeah,
you know,
it
like,
does.
It shows an
does.
interest.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
does, because we've come through growing pains where we were like, hey man, we really want to care about what we're talking about or anything like that, or what we're saying, because a lot of people aren't musicians like us, and they'll listen to the words before they give a fuck that I have a 5-string bass or a double bass pedal and
Right.
stuff. So when you came out and like, hey man, like, what's the words, by the way? Like, cool, here you go. And you're like, oh shoot, dude, you know what? That's pretty cool. Like, I like 'em. I think Hometown Prayer, I always saw you get really fired up on that song.
I love that song. man.
Yeah.
Hometown Prayer is gonna be coming out.
Yeah, it's a good one.
We're gonna go into the studio. This time where everything's slowly opening up.
Can I give some input on what like really like had my fucking
Jollies
lungs
jumping?
burning?
Yes.
Yeah, my jollies
Yeah,
jumping.
absolutely, man. Sorry, shoot.
When
that.
when we first started playing, of course, like we mentioned last time, "If You Want to Go" was the first song we actually started working on as a group. And
Yep.
as we started progressing, we started. Jake brought this song, and he said the name was Trouble, and we started playing that.
Yeah.
And naturally, without thinking about what I was doing, naturally I started playing the current part that's on the actual track.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, and it really stuck with me, and then I had that feeling like, damn, this could be a song that could propel and project, and that's the song that really like hit me at first, and then after that, man, it just a lot of them, man. I there's a lot of songs, a couple of them that we don't play anymore that really have a good feeling behind them.
When you play them.
When we play them, yeah.
To catch everybody
Okay.
up, we have an album out right now on Apple Music.
Yeah.
You can buy it on Amazon. You can check it out on Spotify under Los Chucanos. It's called Ritmo Santo. This is the first EP and our first attempts at writing this type of music. And we recorded this with a different lineup back in 2016. And that's when we kind of got started. That's when we started playing with you guys in Vibes at the time. And it's taken us a long time to throw the music out. And the reason was because we kept going through a lot of lineup changes. And I've never been happy with the final mixes on these songs. I think I could have done them better. But it's just more people coming in and out of the band, more growing pains,
It
different
was
songs
also
to work on.
a lot of pressure. I know I was like, hey, dude, put this out, and I put a lot of pressure behind it, and
Yeah.
I'm
No,
sorry.
you were right to do that because we should have thrown it out a lot longer ago. I just didn't
we sat
know.
on this album for what, like 3 years?
Yeah, we sat on it for 3 years,
It takes time.
and there's people that contributed to this album that I didn't know how they would feel once we threw it out.
Right.
So that's why I was like, well, maybe we're gonna have to like re-record with the new lineups and stuff like that, which would have just turned out to be a little bit more of a waste of money for us at the time because we were already working on such like better material. Which is, if we go back to the studio, we should be working on that music. So, quarantine hits, pandemic hits. Everybody's stuck at home. Everybody's consuming content, and we're just like
We weren't stuck at home, by the way. We were fucking actually
Doing stuff, working.
Yeah,
Fucking at work.
essential workers.
essential.
Yeah, we're essential.
making
So-
goddamn tires.
So you know what song it was? It's one of the ones that I guess isn't recorded yet, but said you got a feeling.
Oh,
Is right because you said that was more of a new one.
that's
Mm-hmm.
you
That's-
wrote that. Song.
Yeah,
you
you're
wrote
you're
helped
part of
us
the
write
your
that song.
creation of that song. So that's
Yeah.
that's all brand new.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that one. That's the one has stuck with me the whole time since it.
Those
Since
are
the
all songs
inception
that
of it.
I'm like
Yes.
dying to record, and
Wait.
I'm like excited to.
If you go onto our YouTube page on Los
Document
Chucanos, after you watch this video, you can check out. Said you got a feeling. There's a practice file on our YouTube page that
Yeah.
you can check out, and that's JJ and Jordan on that song, and also
As this lineup.
and
an
also
original.
yes, and also Sun City Cruising
Yes.
is also songs that
Brand
we all wrote together,
Right.
and
And I thought those were like ones you had already,
I
had already been doing forever. or
I had
whatever.
Sun City Cruising.
That's all.
Okay.
But we never jammed it. We never rehearsed it or anything
That's
until you
another
joined.
song we heard for like 3 years that
Interesting.
never made the lineup.
I have
so.
I have so many songs that we haven't played
Right.
because so many lineup changes. We have to just
Yeah.
continue
It's
like,
always
to
changes,
teach everybody the same old songs.
A song, yeah.
So we never get to sit down and work on an actual song. But we're gonna go into the studio pretty soon, man. I'm already talking.
Yeah.
It's in the works. I'm talking to some people. It's gonna be a long time. Who knows when we're gonna be able to play a live show again? But at least
Hopefully
we can.
soon.
At least we can continue the podcast.
Yes.
We can continue to keep people up to date. We can give people some song meetings later on,
Podcast show.
and we can get into the studio and then throw out some more content. So that's what I think. That's what we've been talking about, and I'm putting into fruition today. As a matter of fact, I should be getting a call in a little bit.
I think
from an
performing
engineer.
live on a podcast would be fun, but at the same
The what's
time,
that?
it's kind of
Yeah,
like nerve wracking.
The what?
I don't know if I'd feel comfortable like performing in a fucking
On a podcast.
on a
It'd
podcast
just
like
be like
performing.
rehearsal.
Of course
Yeah.
it would. You know what I mean? But
Well, what would you
Come
guys
on,
think?
guy.
Would you guys be down for something like that?
Yes, of
For us
course.
to play live,
Yes.
Like
or,
a virtual,
Hit
like a
like.
virtual
or
live
do something like in a live
practice, bro.
capacity.
The
Let us
more
know,
likes,
man.
the better.
Like leave us some comments. So that's up to speed with Chucanos. Now I want to talk. I want to bring in Lex into the conversation here.
Oh
Here
shit!
we go.
Here we
Time
go.
to get nasty.
And
Real nasty.
we got
Lex
some
is
stories.
Lex has been with us since Angel Syndrome, and
Dude, honestly, Lex is a childhood friend. He's
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
the
Yeah,
the
That's
human being that I've known the longest in my life, other than my
Since
parents
first
and my
grade,
family.
motherfucker.
fucking
Since I've
first
known
grade.
Chris since first grade.
I've known him
Yeah.
forever, you know. So
And don't play around with each
yeah,
other.
Well,
well, I mean,
hey,
that's
that's
man, mind your business,
Too
motherfucker.
soon. Too soon. Sorry.
you see how they are?
Hey, I told
this
you.
is a cactus piece. It's just a cactus piece. Yeah, you did. But so Lex and I decided to do a podcast called Talking Wild with Jake and
Nice.
Lex, which our first episode just came out this past Thursday,
It's all right for being our first one. Fuck it.
and it was
The
okay.
next one though, you know what? I have a real good feeling about the next one.
So
I'm excited.
I
Real
think
good.
we're onto something with that podcast because right before I came over here, my dad told me, "What are you gonna do?" I'm like, "We're gonna podcast," and he's like, "Can you not cuss so much on this one?"
Fuck that,
And I said, "These podcasts aren't for you."
Fred. I'm sorry, Fred.
No, my mom.
I love you, Pops. Shout out to my pops and
My
shout out
mom's
to my
like,
peeps.
Shout out to
I told my
Fred.
mom we're gonna do a podcast. What's that? And I explained to her. She's like, oh, you should, send me the link so I can like it. And I was
You're
like,
like,
Mom, I was like, Mom, don't. I was like, that shit's not for you.
You're not gonna like it.
She's like, fine, I won't watch it, but I'll fucking like it for you. I was like, all right, we can do that. I
So-
was like, but it's just,
So talking about the inception of our concept for our podcast, because everybody knows that the Chucano Podcast, we're going to be interviewing everybody in the creative scene. So if there's an established artist or painter or DJ or anything that has to do with the scene, we're going to go ahead and have them on this podcast, the Chucano Podcast, guys.
I'm
So-
excited. I have a lot of you
Yes.
in mind, you know. So
And,
we'll reach out to you little by little.
it'll be nice to see different faces.
Give us some comments. Maybe you guys can give us some requests of who you'd like us to have on our podcast in the next few episodes to come
band
up.
names, any band names, rappers, artists, whatever.
Local, obviously. I mean,
Also, too, like restaurant owners, like creative,
yeah,
people here.
like
in El
bar
Paso.
owners and stuff like that would be cool because they give us. I'd really like to sit down as a musician and talk to a bar owner and be like, hey, like, do you know
Fernie
what
Fresh,
it means?
motherfucker, Fernie Fresh.
Like, do you know what it means for
Get
me
that
to
crazy
play at your
motherfucker out here.
place? Like,
Yeah.
like, you guys gave us a scene. Like, do you know what it means? Like, for us to have like a spot to jam at, like, and throw a show. So I'd like to reach out to people like that here in El Paso and get their ideas of how they got into it and where they went with it. But for you and I, we're talking shit.
And that's it. That's fucking it.
We basically have more of a comedy podcast, which this one's laid back. This is a laid back podcast. Yeah. We're not going to be super serious all the time on the Chucano Podcast. But in Talking Wild with Jake and Lex, we decided, hey, we want a podcast where
it's all bullshit.
We're just trying to make each other laugh.
Correct.
And everyone else gets to watch us try to do that.
Yeah.
So
and try to enjoy it.
I'm excited for it. Like, you know what? I'm stupid excited, you know?
I'm going to let them know. We made little rules. You know, I'm going to give them, this is like real inside baseball here.
Real rules.
We made little rules that were
safe words, bitch. Safe words.
We're going to embellish on some stories. And
flower.
Like flour, yeah.
A lot of people aren't going to know if our stories are 100% true.
They are
90% true, 80.
Or
some of them are
fake.
I got a lot of hits for the ghost
potty fucking
for my ghost story. So, but check that out, guys. A podcast called Talking Wild with Jake and Lex.
Don't get on there if you're easily offended.
And the reason that we have it under the Chucano umbrella is because Lex is family to us. We used to live in Houston back when we were in Angel Syndrome. In our Angel Syndrome days, we used to live in Houston, and Lex was with us. And we actually worked at a recording studio. I went to school. My drummer and I at the time, Aaron Nunez, we went to school for audio engineering in Phoenix, Arizona, right after high school. Yeah, he's from El Paso. He lives in Colorado now. Nice. But we went to the Conservatory of Recording Arts and Sciences in Tempe, Arizona, and we wanted to become audio engineers. We said if we don't make it big as a band, then we'll keep working in music and we'll record in the studios.
Yeah.
So we go to school in Phoenix, and Guy joins us a couple months later, which is another dramatic story, but we'll get into that in a different time. We're not going to go through that story because right now we're
shout out to Manny and Squints, man. They drove me out there.
Yeah, our buddies, man. Cobras.
I was never in that group.
Shout out to K-Dog and Donnie. They decided to come and visit me out there in Phoenix, and I just told me and Guy, we had a heart-to-heart, and I told Guy, hey man, get up here, dude. Like, we'll make it. We're working in we got free studio time. We got free studio time.
Dude, this guy's the master brainwash.
Yeah,
man.
I am.
From one day to the next, motherfucker, I'm
a leader. Oh, we're going to talk about how you got into Houston. So you just hold your fucking horses, and we're going to talk about how
you got everybody to move to Houston?
Yeah, man. So I went to Houston, and my drummer, when we finished school, we needed to do 180 hours of internship at an actual recording studio in order to graduate.
Okay.
So my drummer went all the way to L.A. I couldn't afford L.A., so I tried Austin. Austin was full. I couldn't get in. So the only place I could get into was Houston. And I had an uncle out there. Shout out to my Uncle Gene and my Aunt Romana.
Also, too, like, I don't want to take credit for this, too, but I also told Jake, I'm like, dude, Houston, when the rap scene is popping. Because I'm at that time,
I didn't know anything about it.
Still Tippin'
was
coming out.
2005.
Mike Jones and Slim Thug and Michael Watts and all that was coming out, and hip-hop was hitting hard.
I had no idea, but I knew that you were listening.
Okay, so what year is this?
Yeah. This is 2006.
This is, like the end of 2005, 2006.
Wow. So I need to go to a studio. I worked on an SSL, I worked on a Neotech, and I worked on a Neve.
15 years ago. Dude.
And I said, this place in Houston has all that equipment. I'm Pro Tools certified. They were on Pro Tools, so I'm gonna go over there. So I went and I interviewed, and they're like, we'll let you intern here. So I moved all my shit. I packed up all my shit from Phoenix, and I drove straight to Houston to make my interview. I didn't even know if I was going to get it or not. And I had already moved all my shit in a U-Haul all the way over there. And I got to stay with my uncle. And thank God I had family out there to help me out.
That's good, man.
So I walk into a situation where I barely moved there. I don't know what's going on, and they take months to hit me back. I'm like, when can I start?
What'd you do
when
during
can I
that
start?
time?
I didn't do nothing. I just drove around the city, just trying to familiarize myself with the city because it's so huge.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Houston has a lot of freeways and all
Yeah,
that
I've been
stuff.
to Houston, man. It's huge.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Got a
So
lot of
I would
shit.
like drive around during the week, like looking for an apartment and stuff.
It
Yeah.
is, man.
So at this time, after a guy joined us in Phoenix, Manny and Squints brought him up, and he got a job, and we worked everything out, and everything was cool.
We were there almost a year in Phoenix.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then I moved to Houston.
I moved back to El Paso.
He moves back to El Paso. Aaron moves to L.A., and he's actually working in a recording studio, like in Dr. Dre's recording studio in El Dorado Studio.
At this
nice.
point, I'm in my bedroom
Right now?
smoking weed all day.
Right now.
Nice.
Playing,
Right
playing
now.
Need
No,
for
not
Speed.
anymore, but
Most
back in those
Wanted.
days.
All right.
At
So-
that time, I'm fucking drinking here.
In El
That's
Paso.
pretty much it. With the
So
boys.
then I get into that studio, and it turns out the studio is called 7303, Studio 7303 on Ardmore Street. And I start working there, and it turns out it's a hip-hop studio. Now, I don't know anything about hip-hop because I'm in Angel Syndrome, and I'm just playing like heavy rock. And all of a sudden, I'm working with Scarface from the Ghetto Boys, and I'm driving him to his house because he doesn't like the speakers that we had in our studio. He wants to hear his music on his speakers. So I'm driving him, and I'm like 2 days into the business,
Nice.
and I'm 18 years old, and I'm an engineer. So it looks funny when you see me pressing record for you. And I remember the first time I met Manny Fresh.
Oh shit.
And Manny Fresh was sitting in the A room, which was the biggest room that we had in that studio. Had the SSL in there. It's a huge console, and I'm in there, and I'm helping out. I'm helping out one of my bosses, which is one of the chief engineers. His name was Mark Moody. Shout
How'd
out
you
to my
feel?
boy Mark. And I'm
What up,
helping
Mark?
him out, and he's telling me, "Hey man, put this cable here, put this cable here." So I'm working, and then Manny Fresh looks at me and he goes, "Hey dude, you went to school for this?" I'm like, "Yes sir." You want to be an engineer? I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Can I give you some advice?" And I said, "Yeah. What is it?" And he's like, "Fuck everybody." And I said, "Yeah, man. I'm just gonna do me. I'm not gonna worry about nobody. Fuck everybody." He's like, No. You don't understand. Fuck everybody. You're gonna be in here 20 days in a row. You're never gonna get a
Spend a
fucking day
lot of
off.
time.
You're gonna be here for 12, 18 hours. If you get a chance to fuck everybody." And I started laughing, but guess what?
That's
That was
true.
the fucking truth.
That's true.
We were always in there. We
Yeah,
never
you
had a
were,
day
yeah.
off. So then, okay, so let me speed up.
Hold on, real quick. Can we throw your name out there? The nickname Scarface had for you?
Yeah. You can throw
What?
that out.
Yeah. Tell him.
What's that?
Yeah. So me and Scarface, we got really close. He's still a good friend of mine. Shout out to Scarface. Shout out to my boy Brad.
Nice dude, man. Awesome fucking dude, man. Looked out for Jake like
Yeah.
like
So
no
big
other.
time.
He
name?
looked
What's
out
the
Lot of
big
heart.
time.
But every time he'd see me, he'd be like, "Hey, what's going on there, young Jake the Weasel?" And he'd always call me Young Jake the Weasel.
A weasel.
But we got to meet a lot of rappers. So let me tell you what happened. I literally started engineering like as soon as I got there. I wasn't just rolling cables. I wasn't just sweeping and mopping the floors. Like I was
Turning
actually
dials.
the owner's like, "You know how to run Pro Tools, right?" I'm like, "Yes sir, I'm certified." He's like, "Okay, you got this artist that you got to record from this time to this time, and then after that you got this guy and this guy in this
Just
room."
put you to work.
So I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna be the main engineer." Like, "Yeah, well you can run it, right?" And I was like, "Oh shit!" So I'm like actually in the fucking hot seat, man.
And that's what
So-
going to school
so,
pays for.
Yeah, exactly, man. And so I'm freaking out, and I'm like, "Oh shit!" So then I call my drummer Aaron out there in LA, and I'm like, "Yo, dude, like I'm fucking recording. Like, what do you mean? Like,
You doing
interns don't record?"
I think at this point Aaron was a gopher, right?
Yeah,
it? Wow.
naturally. And Aaron was learning a lot of stuff, and he was assistant engineering for like some big time mixing engineers and stuff
But
that have
not
done
on the
all sorts of
board.
shit. But he wasn't pressing record. He wasn't the main guy. So I told him, look, dude, get down over here and finish your internship and stuff over here, and then we'll get hired on. Like, I'm recording, dude. And at this time, like, I was recording Mike Jones. I was recording Scarface. I was recording Frankie J and Manny Fresh. And I told him, like, dude, get over here. Like, we're going to make a name for ourselves if we get on these recordings. So he comes down. And then that's when we were like, hey, what about Angel Syndrome? We got to do this. And that's when we get Guy involved. Guy, how did you get up to Houston?
Well, I remember I was sitting there smoking tobacco, and tell me like, hey, dude, I'm gonna be in El Paso soon. You want to come back to Houston? You want to do something? Not come back. You want to come to Houston? You want to do something out there? And I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's do it. And I remember you telling me that we're gonna go there and we're gonna record, and which we did. We fucking came with some bomb ass tracks from Houston. We did a lot of good things. But
I miss all that music, man. I can't lie,
dude. It was.
I miss all that fucking music,
dude. That honestly, that time in Houston and also Arizona was like probably the best times of my life. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of fun. We were completely independent, and we were out there fucking struggling.
Yeah.
Hard,
we were struggling, man.
Hard, dude.
Super
Like,
hard.
talking about eating ramen noodles every goddamn day.
Yeah.
So like when I get to Houston, I'm looking for jobs, and I was at one point I was driving forklifts. I remember I worked at a fucking
Target.
Target.
No,
I
that
worked
was
at
later.
a car spa.
Yeah, Target was later.
Oh,
Target
car
was
spa.
down,
That
yeah.
was later.
Yeah.
And I remember a quick little story. I was working at car spa, and I was high on tobacco, and I fucking was driving out of the bay, and I turned a hard left, and I scraped a van. And dude, I got fired that same fucking day.
He got fired,
I was there for about a week. Wow. Well, I mean, so when we were there, shit, man, we had great times, man. I remember I remember one time everybody had gone to work, and I was just sitting there all by myself, all
Chilling
happy,
in the apartment.
excited,
Yeah,
chilling
yeah.
in the apartment, dude. I'm just chilling, and I'm like, I'm on myself,
What'd you do, fucker?
What did you do, dude?
What
did you
would one
do?
do by
How long were you
themselves
by yourself?
in
I
a
would,
new
I
apartment?
mean, so I go to the fucking, I go to the living room, you know what I mean?
Oh,
I open up the PS2,
in the
you know?
living room.
I pop a.
You mean our sacred space that we all loved
that
and,
we all would
and went home
fucking
to?
No, the only fucking place that had a DVD player, you know what I mean? So I
So
go
this
to
is 06 Pickup Sticks.
pick up sticks. So
And you're out here in the living room and everybody's gone because we're working at the studio.
Yanking it.
Yep.
And you just got there.
I just got there, you know what I mean? And I was like, man, fuck it, I'm just gonna
Break this place in?
watch some porn.
I'm going to break this place in.
So I get comfortable, you know what I mean? And you know,
Tell him something like
I start going to town.
Yeah.
You know
you
what
start
I
like,
mean?
oh, Tupac.
It's a little bit too personal, man.
No,
he starts getting in there, huh?
Like swimwear.
Like swimwear.
I don't even know what was popping at the time, but so I start going to town or whatever, and all of a sudden I hear a door slam,
Oh, shit.
and then
Wow.
loud music. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm not by myself. You know what
And
I
they
mean?
had
So
to
like,
have walked past
like,
you.
Who was there?
Joe.
Oh, yeah, that was way
Oh,
before.
our
That
roommate
was way
Joe.
before
Our
I moved
roommate
there.
Joe.
Our roommate
yeah,
was
he
there, and I
cool.
was just like, "Fuck, dude, I just got
man.
caught beating off." You know what I mean? The only thing is, I don't know if he actually saw me. You know what I mean? But
Wait,
Oh, he
probably
saw you.
did he ever bring it
Probably
up?
He saw you.
no, I
No,
asked him
but-
about it. You know what I mean? But
He was just nice enough not to say
He did
anything.
too.
he blushed and he looked away.
We all
kinda
saw you
smiled at
right
me.
there.
Wait, when he blushed and looked away, did he look at your crotch and then look away, or how'd that work?
I would assume he did. You know what I mean? But
Fucking
like, he
pervert.
gave me
Look.
a quick up and
Bitch.
down.
You should have charged him.
The kid's from New York, and he was a fucking squeak,
Ah.
dude. Like, seriously.
Dude, he
How
was
tall was he? He was like,
Big squeak.
he was like
He was
5'6". He was a fucking
he was
squeak.
tiny,
History
yeah,
hyenas.
yeah.
Yeah, but he was a squeak, dude, and he was from New York. But one time, me and Guy, we were sharing a room together, and we were talking shit about it. We're like, "Fuck, man, this fucking guy, dude, he's a fucking piece of shit. I hate this guy." And like, we forgot that like our
He was
our
from
walls
New
are
York.
very thin. he
was
totally
from
heard
New York.
everything that me
Yeah.
and Guy said.
I'm assuming he moved out right after
yeah,
that fucking
he
conversation.
did.
Yeah.
He,
Moved out of
he
the wall, yeah.
fucking did. He moved right out.
I mean,
So
but if he's a bitch, like I would want him in my fucking in my living area anyway.
My space.
there was like he was my
Fuck
first
off.
roommate before my band showed up,
Oh, okay.
and we were living in this.
He didn't know about that.
We were living in this new apartment, but it was in the ghetto. But it was a new apartment, but it was
Ghetto
a
girl.
very hard part of town. And some dude
Is
would
it the
come
one
around
off
and
Yellowstone?
some dude would come around and be like, "Hey Joe, like, let me wash your
I
car
guess
or
like
whatever."
a third ward or something like that. We used
So-
to pick up Timmy Chan's, right? It was in the area.
Off
It was
Yellowstone.
in third
Off
ward.
Yellowstone?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So we would like this guy would come around in the apartment complex, and he would tell Joe like, "Hey, Joe, let me wash your car or whatever." And like like Joe would be cool with him and be nice with him. So for the holidays, me and Joe, we went with our family. So Joe went back to New York, and I came back to El Paso. When I got back to Houston to my apartment, like it was broken into and all my shit was stolen, and we never saw that fucking guy again.
Wow.
So that was like, so then Joe was like,
my time too.
so then Joe was like, I want to get out of here and I want to move to a better place. So we ended up moving to like an apartment place where we couldn't afford it because we were just interns at a recording studio, and that's when I was telling my guys like, hey, you know what? If you guys want to rough it out over here, it'd be a lot easier if you guys can help me out. So then Aaron shows up and Guy shows up, and then so we're all hanging out. I'm keeping in touch with all the boys and all the homies in El Paso, and I wake up to a text of Lex. His face is all bruised and swollen.
Shit.
This motherfucker was beaten black and blue.
I was jumped. It ain't no shit.
His face was all fucked up. He was all lumpy.
Like looking like a blueberry.
No, mashed potato.
Blackberry.
Hey, I'll tell you what. Them steel toes didn't do shit.
He looked like he got hit by a fucking bus, dude.
Like that.
I beat the bus.
I got jumped twice too.
High five. Right?
I just want to throw that in
Tell
there.
that story, please.
Okay, so I graduated 05. Class of 06 was having their prom party, and they're like, hey,
Pick up sticks.
pick up sticks. Hit us the fuck up. We're partying. Fuck it. Cool. I go. Whatever. Me and my boys go, and we're bullshitting. We're drinking.
What boys? Call them out right now.
The Cobras.
Cobras.
Shout out to the Cobras.
I was never part of
Yeah,
that.
me, Ham,
Not the Cobra
Botas,
Kai.
a few of us, right?
Yeah.
And I call my brother. I was like, hey, fuckers, like, hit us up. The party's
party?
here, whatever the fuck. And he's
Yeah.
with his chick. And
He has an older brother.
he's like, oh, all right, maybe. He's like a year and
Frankie.
4 months older. My fucking big brother, Frank.
What up, Fred?
Anyways, so,
Freaking beans.
hey. So we're fucking there, right? And I see my ex shows up with a guy, and it annoyed me.
Uh-oh.
How
It
could
shouldn't
it
have.
not?
But
Which
it
ex
fucking-
was this?
Huh?
Which ex was this?
Carol Baskin.
Can we just
I'm gonna call it Carol Baskin.
Should we just call her Carol?
I'm gonna call her Carol
Okay.
Baskin because I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure her husband's dead. Anyway,
Yeah.
so look. So she buried him. So here's how it goes.
Carol did it.
Hell, some bitch.
She did it.
So I get fucked up, and then
Naturally.
a friend of mine.
We got all drunk.
Yeah, I got fucking drunk, and then a friend of mine, little guy, she fucking here, Lex, hit this blunt. You know what? Because I knew it would piss my ex off.
No.
He never,
Fuck it.
and he never does.
I was like, you know what? Fuck
That's the
it.
thing.
And I smoked out, so I was pretty fucked up. And then so all I hear is "fuck you, fat ass," and I turn around,
Uh-oh.
and
Uh-oh.
there's some cholos talking shit to my boy Ham, and I'm like, oh fuck, all right, and I get up and it's a bunch of cholos. Apparently the cholos hitting on this guy's girl, and my boy Ham's telling the cholo like, hey, there's plenty of bitches here, man. Like, go elsewhere.
Yeah.
So the cholo didn't like it, told Ham off, and so I fucking rolled up like, fuck it, and I picked him up and I threw him, and he hits a fucking table. As soon as he hit the table, somebody threw jungle juice on my face, and I still remember the smell of fucking vodka.
Did it sting?
It stung like a motherfucker, dude.
And then
like,
what happened?
And then I just started getting wailed on.
Oh,
So I'm like,
no.
and I'm like, oh shit, like,
You didn't see that coming.
no, I didn't. But, I can handle my own, and I'm going, so I'm punching, backing up, punching. And then there's a fucking sand pit with logs around it.
Oh, God.
And I'm backing up, and son of a bitch, I fall back.
He hits the log.
I hit
And
the fucking log, dude, just fucking.
Damn.
So you're on the ground now, and they start kicking you.
Oh, dude, I black out, and I remember thinking, like,
I'm getting jumped.
man, I'm getting jumped, man. I really
Wow.
should get up. Like, that's,
They stomped it.
everything goes into slow motion.
Holy.
And I hear somebody yelling, Lex, get the fuck up. And I'm like, oh, I'm getting jumped. I really should get the fuck up. Lex, get the fuck up. And I'm like, oh shit. And I stand up and boom, 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 we start going at it again.
Wow.
And then they kind of split it up. Like, it's a bit of a blur.
Yeah, look.
They split it up.
Yeah.
So we're on this side of the house. And apparently my fucking brother walks in and he's all, Alexis. And I turn around and I'm fucking Frank. And I'm fucking bloody. And my brother's like, what the fuck? Who hit you? And I was like, all of them.
Wow.
And my brother's like, all right. And he walks up. Who the fuck hit him? And this cholo takes off his shirt, and does this shit, and puts it on his shoulder. My brother's like, you? Boom! He fucking hits him.
Nice.
And then shit starts again. It was
Nice.
fucking desmadre, dude. It was dope.
Nice.
So it kind of evened the odds.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was great because we got jumped, but it was fun. I prefer getting jumped. At least if I lose, You know, it was uneven.
So the next day,
So I fucking send this motherfucker a picture.
Oh man.
Hey, I fell down the stairs. He's like, "Fuck you! What happened?" I was like, "Nah, we got jumped."
and I told you, what the fuck you doing over there, dude?
Yeah.
Come to Houston, dude.
Yeah, but see, that was still. I still didn't leave for another 6 months because that was prom. So the thing was I would tell Jake anytime I would hear some shit. Okay, I don't know why. Maybe it was the life I was living, but I started seeing demons. I started seeing all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
And I would tell Jake, dude, I haven't
I've been
slept.
there.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I haven't slept. Like, something was there. Like, I was like, and by then,
I stopped breathing. Damn, I see
I
the
seen
demon.
demons. By then, my boy Christian had already
God,
passed.
I wonder, can you save me?
Yeah.
I can't die. My boo's about to have my baby. Sorry, dude. Murder was the case at the game.
By then, my boy Christian had already passed, right?
Yeah. Got
And
R.I.P.,
God rest
man.
your soul, man. That
Yeah.
motherfucker, like.
That's my boy, dude.
Yeah, we
Downest
talked
motherfucker
about
in the
Christian
world.
in the first episode. Yeah.
So that was my homie. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
I would see fucking demons, dude. And one night, I'm just sitting there like, fuck, I can't sleep. And there's a big motherfucker at my door, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
And I see Christian's like profile, like you can see who it is by their shadow.
Yeah.
Like I see him,
Yeah.
and then he like did this. Just go to sleep. I passed out.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember you telling me that story.
Like,
Yeah.
You said that you kind of felt like he got you. Like, hey,
yeah,
don't worry
he's
about
like-
these
he's like,
fools.
he did this. He's like, don't worry about him. Go to sleep.
Go to sleep.
And I knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
Real
Wow.
quick, I have a similar story. I remember one time I was at Mavericks with my brother, dude, and I had a little breakdown, dude. And I remember he had fucking took me home, and I remember as we were going home, I was, having a little emotional fucking moment. And as we're getting to the house, my dad comes out and he's like, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing?" I was like, "What do you mean? I just got here." And he's like, "No, you're banging on my wall." And I was like, "Dude, I just got here, dude." You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
he walked in, and I'm there talking to my little brother or whatever, right? And I remember he went inside, and as I'm walking back into the door, dude, I see a silhouette, and I see like just shoulders and a head.
The silhouette of a man.
I don't know. It was a fucking shadow. So as I'm walking in, I'm like, "Dad, is that
Can you
you?"
do the fandango?
And I start walking closer to him, dude, and it just started dissipating. I was just like, "What the
Damn,
fuck?
that's scary.
Crazy, man."
So I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the lifestyle or what. But
Had to have been.
near the end of December, we were living at my grandma's. I believe my parents were. Why the fuck were we living at my grandma's? Maybe my parents were divorced. I don't fucking remember. Anyways, living at my grandma's, and I'm on the phone with Jake, and he's like, "Fuck it, bro. He's a fucking move. Like, come over here. You're not doing shit anyways. I was just
Going through some shit.
partying on the motorcycle, bullshitting, whatever the fuck." And he's like, "Move over here, help us with the band and this." All right, cool, fuck it. The next day I wake up, "Hey, Mom, I'm moving to Houston." What? When? I was January 1st. This was like
2007.
it was, yeah, because I moved over there in January 1st, and then at the end of January I turned 20. So yeah, so it was like December, I don't know, 20th, and I was like, yeah, January 1st I'm driving back with Jake. Are you sure? And I'm, yeah, fuck it. So January 1st hit, I fucking put my motorcycle in the back of his truck, and we went.
And the first thing we did is I had to go and show him the studio. Then we stopped at Timmy Chan's, and we got the 3-piece baked chicken.
Fuck yeah, bitch.
With the
best
gravy.
Fucking
Damn.
less than
With the
$4,
gravy.
motherfucker.
And we're in the back of my truck, and I give you the food. I'm like, "Here you go, dude. Try this." What did you do when you ate that food? What happened?
I was like, dude, this is fucking beautiful. Like,
So
I didn't know how to feel, man. I was emotional as fuck. I was like, what the fuck?
like,
Say it.
Timmy Chan's.
Your
says-
eyes water, dude.
You
They
cried.
watered because the food was good. Mind your
Timmy
business.
Chan's, you could compare it to Chico's Tacos here in El Paso. That's
Really?
the following.
But
That's the
okay,
type
it
of
was-
following.
It was literally 3 leg quarters. Leg quarters, motherfucker. I didn't
Yeah.
need 3. No, leg quarters on top of a bed of rice with gravy on the motherfucker.
With gravy on them.
And a bread. It was like $3.90.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, like
And-
we would.
Honestly, we would eat it for days, and that's what would keep us alive out there.
Yeah, because we were broke. Like, so we get there, and then Chris isn't there yet. So it's me, Jake, Aaron,
There we go.
and Baby Shits.
Well, when I had gone, I had took I was there for like maybe
that's
what,
over
like
there,
4 or
homie.
5
Oh,
months,
right.
maybe half a year.
Yeah.
And then I had came back.
Yeah.
And then you went out there.
Yeah.
And then
And then
we
I
picked
went
you up
back
like,
again, yeah.
like 2 months later or some
Yeah.
shit like that. Yeah.
So we were all out there. Talk about some of the key points that we had out there, because we're getting a little close to to ending this one up on time.
So you know what was great? The practice spots that we had at that one guy's in the back apartment. That was dope, dude.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
I love just sitting there listening to the music and just passing out.
It was Sammy.
Sammy.
He was the keyboardist in that
From
one band.
Sammy's.
In that jazz band or whatever the fuck.
You remember Sammy, dude?
Yeah, dude. But
that was a fucking dope ass band, dude.
you know what?
It was more like Motown, wasn't it?
Yeah, remember we go to their bar, dude?
Yeah.
They had a bad bar, dude.
You know what?
Yeah, it was this it was like this R&B band. There was a bunch of old dudes. They're like in their 50s and 60s, and the main singer, his name was Sammy, and he had a jazz club right across the Greyhound bus downtown in Houston. And he was like, yeah, man, I used to sing with the Delphonics before they got big and all this stuff. And so he was making an album and stuff, and then he would let us go to his bar. Shout out, you know.
Nice.
And we'd go and we'd get to see them play live, and they would just like cover all like the Motown music and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was pretty
and
dope.
it was perfect. It was badass. And there was like young people there. There was old people there. It was like a beautiful spot to hang out. I remember one time Aaron's recording him in the C room, and he sees this bad girl. He sees this beautiful chick, and Aaron's like, "Hey man, that girl's pretty, huh?" And then Sammy's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna fucking you mud hole."
Oh shit!
And we were like, "What?" He's like, "I'm gonna fucking you mud hole in her." And I was like, "This guy's for real."
Houston was nuts, man. I fucking loved it.
Yeah,
Like
Houston was crazy.
Once I got there, and then I got a job. I had some party hall place, and I got fired. Anyways, mind your business. And then me and Chris started working at Target overnight.
That was cool.
And then the owner of the studio offered me a job as a runner. I was like, fuck yeah, I get to hang out at the studio.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I was there at the studio bullshitting. We met all kinds of motherfuckers.
What did Manny Fresh tell you?
Oh, fuck, I don't even remember.
So Manny Fresh is working on this song, and it's like, says she only 21. I think I'm about to get me some. And then he goes, go ahead, dude. Let's see what you could do. And Lex starts dancing, dude.
He's like, do that again.
And Lex starts doing this little. Where was that move from? Was it from Mike Jones?
I think it was. But we were bullshitting. He's like, oh yeah. And every time he'd fucking see me, hey, let me see
some moves.
It was fucking hilarious, bro. Like, bitch. No, I'm just kidding. So it was dope, bro. Like even with Mike Jones, the fucker was cool as shit. Cool. I mean, we're all 20 years old, bro.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Hey
I
guys,
going to wash our clothes at fucking Mike Jones' house. Dude.
Fuck that, going to his club, bro.
Yeah,
we're the only Mexicans in that motherfucker.
So,
VIP and shit.
I was working with Mike Jones
I need to
for
see
weeks
proof.
for weeks on straight.
Dude,
and
we
I
didn't
told
even
Mike,
have these type of cell phones, bro. We had the fucking
it was
brick
2006.
Nokia phones, bro.
Smartphones.
Hey, they got
Dude,
pictures.
that's
had the
fucking
flip phones?
MySpace.
But I even have videos. If you check on my
MySpace.
Facebook, I even have videos
I will
of
look
Mike.
that up.
And I was like, Mike, I need to wash my clothes, dude. I don't even have any quarters or anything. He's like, nah, dude, I'll just take you to my house and you can just use my washer. Don't worry about it. So we go to the opposite side of Houston or whatever, and he's like, yeah, I got this club out here. He rented a club on Saturdays. So that club already existed, but then he would have his own night there, and he would name it Club Ice Age because that was the name of his record label at the time. So we would get to go, and we'd call Mike when we got to the door because we're still 20, and he would come and meet us, and he would take us upstairs.
We're the only fucking Hispanic kids walking
Yeah, we're the
up.
only Spanish kids, dude.
Dude, everyone's looking at us like, what the fuck are these motherfuckers, dude? And everyone's like, what the
So
fuck?
I got with my first black chick out there, right?
Hey,
And
It wasn't my first, but I got with a few.
shout out to
so
Houston.
Yeah, dude. They got
she was a real cutie, man,
you know
right?
what? The strip clubs.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So she was a real cutie, and we go to my room. And she looks at me and she goes, "I never had me a little Latino boy before." She said, "I never had me a little Latino boy before," and I said, "Me neither. Let's do it."
That makes
So, but it was cool, man. It was awesome. Okay, so talk about the time when we got to meet Zero, man.
Hold on real quick. I want to talk about the time we met Wayne.
Oh, Lil Wayne. Okay,
Lil Wayne.
Bruce Wayne.
Dude, oh my God.
Dude.
Talk about the time we met Lil Wayne.
So what I remember is like you calling me like, "Hey, dude, fucking Lil Wayne's coming," and I'm like, "All right, fuck yeah." And I remember I had to work that day, so I called in.
You called in?
I called in, so I fucking go to the studio, and they had one guy sitting there rolling blunts and shit.
That's all he did all day, all night. He just sat there rolling blunts.
Professional blunt
one
roller.
guy cleaning fucking cigars, emptying,
Yeah.
and the other motherfucker rolling shit.
Nice.
Dude, I was high as fuck. I was in the day room with him, but I was high as fuck. Just off contact.
So like I couldn't go into the day room, you know, obviously because they're working or whatever. And at one point he finally came out, you know, and I see him. I'm like, oh shit, that's fucking Little Wayne, dude. And that dude's, you know, tiny
He's little,
guy, dude. He's a short guy.
Hence the name.
Yeah.
So like I remember they were asking us to clean up the rooms
It's not
or whatever.
sarcastic.
I know. I'm
Like
just kidding.
it's literal.
He showed up with Superhead.
Oh, dude, she was fucking gorgeous,
I
bro.
mean-
She was, oh my god.
If
dude.
you're wondering what we're talking about, just in case you guys got lost, we used to work at a recording studio in Houston, and all these big rappers and artists would come in.
Come through.
And we're talking about a time when Lil Wayne came in, and he came in like around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the nighttime,
And he left 10 in the morning.
and he didn't leave until like 10 in the morning. So that day, I had worked all day with Rich Boy, and he was doing drops for radio stations. Rich Boy selling that. All them haters want a jet. Throw some D's.
on that bitch.
So I was working with Rich Boy, and he was doing, this is Rich Boy, 102.3, whatever. Like, yo. So I'm just recording a bunch of drops for him, and I had already been working all day, man. I got in like at 8 in the morning. Wayne gets in at 9, bro, at 9 p.m. And I'm like, all right, well, see you. Wayne comes in with his own engineer because he actually records on the bus, too, on his own tour bus. So he stops there because Manny Fresh always works there at the studio in Houston that we were at. And him and Manny Fresh are going to work on some beats and stuff. So Wayne gets there at 9, and my night manager tells me, you can't leave. In case their engineer needs any help with the room, you got to be here. And I'm like, I already did 12 hours. Like, I'm tired.
Okay.
They're like, you don't got to do nothing. Just be here. Just here. So we're there, and Lil Wayne has his entourage there. He brought Superhead. We might have met Drake and we didn't even know it because this was right before Drake blew up. This was like a year before Drake blew up. He might have even been there. Who knows? But there was a guy in the day room, and the day room was like a little lounge area, like a living room.
They had like 2 TVs. They had like a gaming area. They had a kitchen, a pool table, and like a lounging area.
Who was in there?
Wayne comes out and he starts playing
Two
pool.
fuckers rolling.
He starts playing pool, and he's a fucking shark, man. That dude like knows how to do trick shots. Like, he's badass at fucking pool.
He's at the level.
And we're just watching him like, what the fuck? This is crazy. And so he has a guy up at the kitchen, and he's just rolling blunts, and he's putting them in this big Ziploc bag. And Wayne's working from 9 in the night till 10 in the morning. He's got a bottle of Cristal, and like he takes off his damn little wife beater or whatever.
Typical fucking music video.
And he's like going crazy.
Oh,
Like,
Special guest? Special
That
uninvited guest?
I don't know. So anyways,
And,
we're doing all that bullshit,
and so
oh, you call that like fucking 4 hours ago? Oh shit.
yeah,
There we
so,
go.
I mean,
Yeah.
so, I mean, it was fucking, it
So-
was nuts, man.
sorry for the technical difficulty.
Sorry, guys.
All right, so Wayne's working, and by this time, I literally been up for 22 hours, and I have to come back to the studio because I have some morning sessions with JV. What's happening,
What's happening, baby?
What's going on there, Lordy?
But
I love that guy, dude. Shout out to JV. He was dope. So we had some crazy times, man. When we were working with Scarface, we had the privilege to work with UGK, which is Bun B and Pimp C before Pimp passed away. God rest his soul.
Yeah.
I had some really cool stories with Pimp, man. And we had some really cool times at the beach out there.
you know what was dope when they recorded The Game Belonged to Me? The
Yes,
part of the studio there?
Yeah.
Man,
The music
it was,
video to The Game
part of the
Belonged to
music
Me.
video
Yeah.
was recorded
That's
at the studio.
I never got to meet Pimp C, man.
Yeah,
but
no, we met him there,
Pimp
dude.
was
It was
great.
bitches are us, dude. Fucking
Fucking,
goddamn.
Just like a video.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Well, we played a show. We
Little
played
Scrappy.
we played a show at a mall at the North Mall, where TV Johnny's the dude that does all the grills is at, and we're playing in the mall, and the rapper Little Scrappy comes up and he starts like talking or doing the song. I don't even know, but we were just tripping out. And then we did this Budweiser festival that was hosted by Vida Guerra.
Oh, are you kidding me?
That's a throwback name, but she was
Hey,
bad.
you
She's
know
still
what?
bad.
She's
Shout outs.
fucking
She's
even
banging
Shout out.
better
person,
now,
dude.
bro.
And Mike Jones went on after us, dude.
Nálgame Dios.
And there was like a bunch of celebrities in the crowd. Like I know Bun B was walking around with his wife and all that. It was
and you
the
guys
coolest
were
shit.
performing.
And we performed at Angel
yeah.
Syndrome.
Angel
Yeah.
Syndrome. Okay.
And
It was
so-
like a little party for the studio. The studio
Yeah.
threw like
Right.
a little.
Dude, you know what? You know what was fucking badass that a lot of people will never be able to say? Fuck is his name? God, I would like,
Oh, no.
Who
It's
was
a
it?
lie.
50 Cent,
It's a
Justin
lie.
Timberlake.
nah.
yeah,
It's a
man.
lie.
They did AO Technology at that
Technology,
studio.
yeah,
Yeah, they did
I
some of the
assistant
verses.
engineered on that song.
Nice.
Yeah, fuck Justin Timberlake.
Anyways,
Whoa.
so
I don't know.
Jake was playing
was-
guitar
he was addicted.
with
Oh yeah, with George Clinton.
George Clinton.
from
Really?
the Godfather of Parliament.
So we're
Really?
in there, and he's just telling us stories of when they used to party.
They were in there all the
Wow.
time.
It was the
dude.
shit,
Like,
dude.
yeah.
So and his manager, she was such a cool lady. Like,
Oh yeah.
she would tell us stories how she's got an organization to help hoes get out of being hookers
Of
and this.
doing the job, yeah.
Dude, that lady was real as fuck,
Wow.
dude. Like it was awesome. And then George Clinton with his stories about partying with the Beatles and this and dude,
All
it
the
was
greats.
dope. But yeah,
So we're gonna get more into those type of stories in the
future.
yeah. most
the Talking
definitely.
Wild with Jake and Lex story, guys. And I want to appreciate you guys, and I want to thank you guys for this beautiful podcast. I know we went
Thank
a little
you.
long, man,
Thank
but
you.
between the five of us, man, we had a really good experience.
No pun intended.
That's what she said.
Thank you guys. Please
Thank you
like and
guys.
subscribe to our YouTube page. Every Monday, the Chucano Podcast will be coming out, and every Thursday you can catch our a new episode of Talking Wild with Jake and Lex. If you guys like this video, please share it with your friends, and thank you guys very much.
Most
We will
definitely.
catch you guys until next week. We're gonna go ahead and go out with a song called "If You Want to Go."
Yeah.
How'd you get the beans, Brother Frank?
You want to go what? Go to Pound Town? Because that
I
shit's
get the
free,
beans
son.
On top of
Take
Frank.
it real quick, motherfucker.
Thank you guys. Have a good one.